Okay, and we're straight in with question C. So we were sitting over here looking at B, and let's move on, and we've got y equals minus 8 over x minus 2. Got this over x. Immediately, two things come to mind. What type of function is it? Not a straight line, not a parabola, not an exponential, that would be an exponent. Hyperbola is what we call these ones. And yes, we do need to know these names. So it's a hyperbola. We know that the basic hyperbola looks like that. Okay, the minus 8, well, the 8's stretching a bit, it's hard to see. But the negative, what's the negative doing? What does the negative do to any function? Takes it and it reflects it. So this function over here, we're going to take and it's going to be reflected. So this part that was up here in the first quadrant is going to be reflected down into the fourth quadrant. This part that was here in the third quadrant is going to be reflected up into the second quadrant. So we know it's going to look like that. And these are just rough sketches, maybe something you're doing in our mind, but I think it's useful to just draw them as well. That minus 2, what are you doing with the minus 2? Well, it's taking this and it's moving it down. So we've got that. We had an asymptote over here. So that asymptote is going to move down by 2. So there was an asymptote there. This asymptote's going to be at minus 2. So therefore, it's going to be a lot easier to draw this. It's going to go there and it's going to go here. Can't cross the asymptote because an asymptote means it gets closer and closer to it but never quite reaches it. That's why in the parabola there aren't asymptotes, because it does reach that turning point. Okay, and from the diagram we can clearly see there's going to be an x-intercept, and there clearly isn't going to be a y-intercept. Here's another asymptote. So the second thing I was saying that comes to mind, well, we can never let x equal 0, because then we're trying to divide by 0. Sorry, no can do. So there we go. We've got this, and we know that we're going to have to find this value here. So let's do some of this. Y-intercept. I'm actually just going to capture my thought here and say y-intercept, none. There's no y-intercept. X-intercept, well, we know that the y value is 0. So just like we've always been doing with functions. 0 equals minus 8 over x minus 2. There's an equation to solve. Let's add 2 to both sides. So we've got 2 equals minus 8 over x. Okay. Now I don't like this fraction, so I'm going to times this by x. Because if I times by x, these are going to cancel. Whatever you do on one side of your equation, do on the other. So let's times that by x. So we've got 2x equals minus 8. Okay, well that's easy. Divide both sides by 2, x equals minus 4. Yeah, it seems to, let's just check it from the original equation. Negative 8 divided by negative 4 is 2. 2 minus 2, no, that's 0. So it works. So therefore, minus 4, 0. Does it match our picture, our rough sketch? Yeah, minus 4, 0. It is a negative x. So let's draw it in the usual very neat way, right? So that's y-axis. This is the x-axis. They carry on each way. We know that there are two asymptotes, and I really recommend you draw that asymptote right at the beginning. A, you're not going to forget it. It's so easy to forget to draw it. And B, it's going to help you to be able to draw your actual function. So we know that there's an asymptote here, which we're going to indicate with a dotted line. We have to indicate where is this line. So I'm going to write y equals minus 2. Okay, which was over here, minus 2, because this can never be 0. Okay, we've got another asymptote which is on the axis. We said, what value can x never be? X can't be 0. It's on that, so there's our asymptote. We know that it's going to go through this point, but I'm not going to draw it in yet because my drawing's wonky at the best of times. So let me put it in afterwards. Let's go for some green. So we know that it's going to be this shape, and it's going to come through here. So I'm going to just gets closer to the asymptote but doesn't touch, so I'm going to just draw it up like that. Gets closer there, dunk dunk, goes through that point. Now I'm going to add it in. It's minus 4, 0. We know this one here was in this quadrant and moved down. It can't cross this asymptote. It's going to get closer and closer to it, so I'm just going to draw it like that. Importantly, you can't draw it going away because it doesn't go away from the asymptote. So it should kind of get in tighter there. There we go. For completion, I want to label this y equals, what was it, minus 8 over x minus 2. But keep reinforcing this. The process is the same for each function. We're looking for the x-intercept, y-intercept. We're looking at the shape. What does it look like? So, yeah, keep at that way. That ends question C, and we'll move on to question D, which I suspect, I can't remember now if there's a question D, but I suspect it's going to be an exponential function. Because we've done 4 functions, we've drawn 3 of them, so chances are that's what it will be. Can't wait.